yes, we all love Nick Chubb, but does that mean that the Cleveland Browns can't run the football anymore? Or is it something where, because of the infrastructure there, there's still some hope with the ground game?
Ben Fox had a very interesting tweet that he shared with everyone, and during the offseason, he talked to a number of bookmakers about non-quarterbacks, which ones are valuable. And to a man, the bookmakers said that Nick Chubb is in the top 10 of non-QBs that are worth something to the point spread. And the number that he came up with was just under a point, 0.85 against the spread to the number. So he's valuable there. I know the immediate reaction is Kareem Hunt's still available. He's familiar with the team. He's had some success with the team. Go and get him. But the Browns did make this choice of Ford, and he looked pretty good. Now, you're going to need some depth. Everybody needs depth at this position. It's certainly notable, but it's not something I'm taking a look at. I understand so much goes through Nick Chubb with this offense, but I'm not, and we have to take Watson's struggles into account for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of lucky that they're 1-1 after the way that he's played after a couple of games. Many people thinking that he was going to go closer to what he was with the Texans. Well, we haven't seen it so far this season. But I'm also not saying I'm not going to be betting on the Browns ever. I'm not saying that they can't compete in this division or have a successful season at all. I mean, they were box score warriors last night. They lost because of the turnovers, right? Which turned into 6 points going the other way twice. They outgained Pittsburgh by 153 yards. Chubb goes down. They still outrush Pittsburgh by 143 yards in this game. So it hurts them. It hurts them a good deal. He's worth something to the point spread on a weekly basis. But I'm not saying it's time to fade the Browns. This is not a Rodgers to Zach Wilson situation.
I'm with you. I do think the Nick Chubb injury is devastating. Feels so bad. One of my favorite players. But I'm more concerned, guys, about Deshaun Watson. I mean, we've talked about falling off a cliff. Like, when are we going to see more progress from him? And all that money that he got paid, and you're not getting a return on investment? I'm more concerned about that. I just think this has been bad, a bad signing by the Browns in terms of what we're getting from Deshaun Watson performance-wise.
With the Jets the way that they are, that they may rely on Breece Hall a good bit. And if he can stay healthy throughout the course of the season and he goes off and he has the utmost potential of any running back right now, because now Nick Chubb is out of this, is Breece Hall at 25-1 for comeback player of the year a value play, and or is he a value play at 48-1 to win offensive player of the year, because the running back position has been discounted, and maybe this is an opportunity to put one of them on a pedestal, especially one who may be relied upon a good bit. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Are they going to go to him? I would think so, because Breece Hall was vocal after the game, and he was tweeting about it, about how they're not running the ball. And I think he's right. For them to win with Rodgers out, they need to rely on their defense and run the ball a little bit. Now, it was a horrible setup, terrible matchup for them. First start for Zach Wilson against the team that looks like they're the best in football right now. But they're going to have to change. And I think, yeah, I'll be taking a close look at Breece Hall props coming up next week. Yes, I did consider him for comeback, and he has that ability to certainly pop for offensive player. So he is that good. And for them to have a chance, they're going to have to lean on him.
Yeah. I agree. I love that, Ed. That there's some great value there, especially now with Zach Wilson at quarterback. They will have to rely on him, and they are going to have to run the ball quite a bit. He has been injured before. That would be my only hesitancy is, can he stay healthy? But you're getting such good value on that. It's like, why not? Because if he does, I mean, I was wrong about Saquon last year. He stayed healthy, so you just never know with these running backs, but with the value, I think it's a great play.
If the Jets are at least competitive, I mean, they weren't against the Cowboys, but if they can be at least competitive for the rest of the season, it feels like you got to award them something in some way, shape, or form, and maybe Breece Hall's going to be the guy. So maybe that's how I'm thinking about it. Buffalo Bills have the second shortest odds at plus 140, and I wonder if now is the time for a buy low opportunity for the Bills. And this is everywhere: division, conference, Super Bowl. It took several turnovers and a punt return for a touchdown for Buffalo to lose that game against the Jets. When they're actually playing a decent brand of football, Aaron, like we saw against the Raiders, they shellacked them. It wasn't even close. And so while I know that was an ugly loss in week one, they're turnovers, they're unexpected. There's a lot of variance to them. And it's something where I go, yeah, like they lost to Zach Wilson. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But I can guarantee you Zach Wilson's going to beat a good football team at some point this year. It's going to happen. So maybe it's something where we shouldn't let recency bias cloud our judgment too much. And if you feel like that the Bills are a good football team, now is the time to buy into them, knowing full well that it wouldn't take a whole heck of a lot for everything to fall apart with the Dolphins.
I don't think there's an overreaction here. I think Colorado's a fraudulent 3-0 team. Been a great story. Been great for college football so far. I just think that they're really up against it this weekend. I went ahead and laid Oregon. I would lay Oregon at the current number of 21, even though it's moved significantly. I think the Travis Hunter injury, typically a non-quarterback's not going to move the needle, but when you got a guy playing offense and defense and he's contributing in a major way on both sides of the ball, he's got to be worth at least a point. And then, just looking at Colorado, these games, I mean, they far exceeded expectations, but a lot of it has to do with their opponent not playing clean football, whether it's penalties or turnovers, can't take snaps if you're Nebraska, all the penalties that Colorado State had their opponents played a little bit cleaner football. I'm not sure Colorado would be the story of college football at this point. I think the story of them nationally comes to an end on Saturday evening because I'm expecting a 4 or 5 touchdown win for the Ducks.
Ooh, I love it. Pour some cold water on Colorado. They have USC coming up too, so it's not going to get any easier.